Yo, what's going on everyone? Miles Midoriya here with the review of All-American Homecoming Season 2, Episode 11. In the beginning, we see everyone taking their midterms and they look stressed or tired. I remember those days, man. Simone is talking with her professor. He said she didn't do too good on her paper and he wants her to try something else, and she thought it was a good topic. He told her it just had facts and figures, no personal connection to the topic, so he did give Simone another chance and she has to find a new topic before 8 a.m. Next up is Damon and JR at the gym. Damon is not paying attention to whatever JR is talking about. He's over there thinking about what happened with him and Simone, and he told JR that him and Simone had a moment and she's ignoring him, and JR was like, y'all always have a lot of moments. Man, what he said was true, they really do. Marcus came over there to speak with Damon and he told him that he got an early look at the grades and he failed one of his midterms, so Damon has to figure out a way to raise his grades or else he won't be able to play baseball. It's funny how him and Simone are both having grade problems in the same episode. At the fraternity house, the pledges are doing their routine and JR notices that it looks like they haven't been practicing. He called one of them to the front asking why is he limping, and he said he heard it practicing, but we'll talk about that later. Julian chimed in saying cut him some slack. JR agreed, and Cam was asking the guy who was limping what happened. He hasn't showed up to rehearsal in a while. None of them have. He told him some things are different. Cam brought up about them being line brothers, that bonding and building trust is a part of it, so now he knows that they are hiding something. Then the scene goes to Nate talking about the data for the votes with Simone, and it seems like Nico's winning so far. Simone suggested that Nate throw an event to talk to more people, and that's what ends up happening. Just then, Damon had texted Simone. She ignored it. Nate was trying to figure out what was going on, but of course, Simone didn't say anything, so you already know Nate gonna find out one way or another. After Nate left, Damon actually ran into Simone, and he asked her did she get his text. She said she did, but she's been busy with midterms. He still wanted to talk, but all of a sudden, people's phones started going off because of a Yard Yak post. The post was about a male athlete seen leaving the room of a rising star female athlete in the same hall. I said, uh-oh, who was watching him? It's not like he hasn't been to her dorm room before. Simone started freaking out. What if her sorority finds out? And she told Damon that they need to separate from each other for a little while. The scene goes to Marcus checking in with his therapist. He tells what happened between him and Amara. He told him that he loves her. He kissed her and she kissed him back. It felt right. And he asked Marcus, how's he feeling? And he said he's happy. Then he asked him when was the last time he felt like that. Marcus said last semester around the time of the baseball barbecue. The therapist tells him that he wants him to be aware and that they will talk about it when they have their session. Damon's back at the dorm room. He ran into Cam and even he seen the Yard Yak post. Damon wasn't even trying to hear about all that. Just then he was telling him about his midterms and how he won't be able to play. Cam mentioned why don't he tell his professor about his dad and him grieving. Damon said he doesn't want to use grief as an excuse. Cam said use it as an explanation. Damon said either way he should have passed it, and Cam told him it's still worth the conversation. Next is Nate and Walinda. She tells Nate that she reserved the room and why is he there. Nate showed a text from Keisha that said Nate had permission to use the room, and she said she wrote her name on a clipboard. Simone popped up out of nowhere from the elevator and told them have their events on different sides of the room. Nate was like, why did she choose to compromise? Simone said because Nate can talk to the people that support him and her. Simone brought up about the post and Nate guessed that it was supposedly about Simone and Orlando, then guessed it was Damon. Nate said, what about Thea? Simone said she broke up with Damon. They aren't even friends. They're more like non-fighting teammates. Nate said that doesn't make it any less messy, and if word gets out, it'll only get messy for them. That's true. Even though they are broken up and her and Thea aren't friends right now, there's still feelings between Damon and Thea, and also she has the Orlando situation. That's another person in the mix that she has to think about. The scene goes to Damon talking to Amara about him failing his midterm. He wanted some advice. He said he's good in the class because it's hands-on, but the test was on paper. He tells her when it comes to numbers, he's more hands-on. She says it sounds like he was at a disadvantage. She thinks the professor would understand, but only if he had a solution. Find a way to prove he understands material that fits his learning style before 8 a.m. Before he left, she asked him was he okay. They haven't got the chance to talk since he got back from Chicago. She said she was sorry about his dad, and he told her that he was doing good. She said if anything changes, she's there to talk about it. Shout out to Amar for always caring and being there to help people out when others need it. Quickly back to Nate and Walinda's event. Walinda was talking to someone until Nate came over there and they started bringing up Faith. And then Nate gave like a speech and everyone seemed like they were interested. Simone showed up for the study session. You can see the other fraternity and sororities are there studying, and Simone was ready to work on her midterm, but Aquila popped up and said that she'll get help on her midterms after she serves her big sisters. You already know they had to agree. I said, man, she thought she was about to be free that night, but nope, still gotta do some work. Melody brings up the Yard Yak post, and one of the ladies said the only people she can think of is Damon and Simone. I said if it is about them, that was a good guess. Melody said she feels sorry for the woman because she would get a bad reputation while the guy won't. Simone was curious about what Aquila would do if she found out the post was about one of them. Melody said it would be best if she doesn't. Next we see Cam talking to one of the people from earlier, and the guy apologized and Cam was trying to figure out what was going on. He told him he can't tell him where they go because of who he might tell, which is JR, but he did say they are still cool. We all could tell it had something to do with Julian. Over to where Nate and Linda are at, they had a quick argument, and Nico alerted all the students that he had free food for them. Man, they ran out that room quick. Nate gave that speech earlier for nothing. Damon's in his room trying to get work done, but he can't focus. He's thinking about Simone. Then he wanted to go talk to Amara. He said he tried to do what she told him to do, but he couldn't concentrate. It was too quiet. He kept hearing all of his thoughts, how everyone is telling him that he is grieving. He doesn't want grief to control his life. She told him she lost her father in college as well, and that he will find a way to move forward. He asked how. She said by talking to the people who love him, by being honest with his feelings. He told her if he's honest and he gets closer to people, it's gonna hurt if he loses them. She said that's the great riddle of life. We don't know what the future holds, but that's exactly the reason to tell the family that he's related to or the family that he's chosen how much he cares. At the fraternity house, JR runs into Cam and he says he's noticing some tension between him and his line brothers. As soon as Cam said big brother, he told him he's talking to him as a friend. Cam said he can be his friend and DP. That's the reason why they're tripping on him. He tells him that his line brothers have been driving off campus somewhere. Cam said at first he joined for the scholarships. He sees it's more than that. He was cool with his line brothers at first, but now there's a distance between them, and it might widen if he doesn't treat them like the others. JR told him he does, and Cam was like, has he had that conversation with Perry? That right there, it just takes time. JR is trying things in a new way. It's not like he tried to treat Cam any differently. He might have wanted to make sure that he didn't quit or that they weren't doing too much. At the same time, he should recognize what he's doing so they don't get the idea that he's treating Cam any differently. At Amara's place, she is with her friend Candace looking at ways to acquire the building, and she gets a text. She over there smiling and laughing. I thought it was Marcus at first, but it was Zeke. They talk about the current situation that she has 2 romantic interests and she doesn't know what to do. Her friend was too happy, so guess she's gonna help her decide. Back at the fraternity house, we see Janelle talking to Simone because she wanted to be distracted. Simone told her about her midterm paper, and Janelle already knew what professor she had, and she told her that he likes out-of-the-box thinking. Just then, Simone got a call from Nate. There was no word on who posted it, and Nate told her it didn't name anyone, which is why I was like she has to calm down a little. The second thing Nate told Simone is that she's getting worked up over a post because she's avoiding what's really bothering her, the kiss that she had with Damon, and also she needs to tell whoever isn't supposed to find out. Which she did. She talked to her line sisters and told them the post may have been about her, and Janelle told her she broke the rules too. She said she told her boyfriend and she couldn't see him for a certain amount of weeks, and they only lasted 4 days. I said, man, I guess they need to be around each other. Melody said she wears makeup at night and told Simone whatever happens, they got her. Simone got a good set of people around her. They really watching out for her. That's when everyone's phone started going off. It was a new post. It turns out it wasn't about Simone. It was about a basketball player named Blake Foster and Zoe Clark, a volleyball player. They find out Zoe's the one who made the update. Simone wondered, why did she do that? Melody told her that she's in the clear, doesn't matter, and she told her it does, which means Simone may have a new topic for a paper. Moving along, Damon had saw Nate and was asking about Simone. Nate told him that she was still studying. Then Damon asked about how did the event go, and Nate said that the people left for free food from Nico. Also that he'll still be a part of his journey. Nate won't lose faith in being in the student government. Next year will be better. But Damon did ask about the voting information, so Nate showed him. Damon broke it down, which showed that Nate is in second place. Nico has 137 votes and Nate has 135 votes. After hearing that, Nate is going to continue being competitive in the race, and Damon got an idea for his midterm. Back at the fraternity house, JR is having a meeting. He's talking with Julian and he asked him did he hold a secret underground pledge for the pledges, and he said he did. Somebody had to show him what it really takes. JR was not happy at all. He said they disappointed him, one for betraying their fellow line brother, and on the second part, this dude JR went off like he was Denzel Washington in Training Day.
You know I'm disappointed in y'all. 1 for betraying your fellow line brother, and 2 for thinking you can sneak behind my back. I'm the DP.
You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you.
He said they were thinking they could sneak behind his back. He's the DP. They should have come to him. So he told them they were all dropped from the line. Just then, Cam said he can't let them go out like that. They started together. Even though he felt betrayed, one thing he taught them was to stick by their brother's side, especially when their backs are against the wall. That one of their brother's mistakes is all of their mistakes, and if he drops them, he'll have to drop all of them. JR said they better be glad they got some brothers that's down to ride for them, because they would have been out of there. He is giving them one more chance to finish things out his way, and if he hears about it happening again, then all of them are out of there. He didn't forget about Julian either. He told him that he'll talk to him later. Back at Amara's, they were making a list on both Zeke and Marcus. When it was time for her to talk about Marcus, she was really going in with the pros that they had much history together, but she doesn't want to go down that road because she's like his boss and she already had gossip about her. Candace just told her that sometimes the risky choice is the right choice. I think we know who she's going to be leaning towards. Later on, Simone found Zoe wanted to talk about the Yard Yak post for a paper. She didn't want to talk, but Simone said she respected it and basically told her that what she did was brave and hoped she finds her peace. Simone let her know that she thought that post was about her and her anxiety was at a next level, that the app is the worst. Zoe agreed. Simone tells her that her topic is one that she was living through social media that day. Zoe said, guess they learned their lesson and they'll be deleting the app. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. Zoe went on to say that both her and Blake are single. The post made her realize what she wanted with him and what she wanted with herself. We can tell by the look on Simone's face who she was thinking about. Then the scene goes to Linda going to go talk to Nate, and she says she overheard the conversation between Nate and Damon and that he was waiting for the other candidate to show up, but she already talked to him and both of them are dropping out. She acknowledged that Nate has a chance of beating Nico. Nate says he admired Linda's slogan and posters. Linda really couldn't say the same, but she gave some ideas for the slogan and not to spend the whole time talking to the Greeks. Simone is his best friend and is ignoring the athletes. That's when Nate suggested that Linda join him and she agreed, so something good came from it after all. As soon as Linda left, Damon showed up. He did good on his midterm using the data that Nate gave him, so he's all good to play again. Then he brought up that he should talk to Simone, that what happened between the two of them was real. He was worried that the whole time him losing his dad was affecting his decisions and his thoughts, but he passed his midterms. He didn't fail because of grief. That what happened between them wasn't grief either, it was real. The way Nate looked, Damon said he knows she said something, so Damon all happy and he said he's gonna wait for her at the dorms. Nate didn't look too happy, so he did text JR so that they could talk about it. The scene goes to JR working out. Julian pops up. He asked JR if he calmed down and he told him that he's not the assistant DP anymore. He said they've been through a lot. Is that what he's gonna do? That dude JR stood up and said that he put the entire chapter in jeopardy. By the look he gave, I don't think that's gonna be over. Nate walked in and they started discussing Simone and Damon. They were saying that it could affect everything. Nate told them that if they love them and they want to spare them the heartache, then they should stop them from doing something stupid like turning their grief-filled kiss into something that can torpedo all of their friendships. I get what they mean, but they may not have seen all of it, but we all could tell that there's chemistry between the two of them, not just only from that kiss. It was kind of due to timing, like when Simone and Jordan broke up was around the time when Damon and Thea started to become something and they couldn't really do anything then, but now in a way they're both single. Well, Simone still needs to go talk to Orlando because you already know he's going to get mad. Plus, they already been spending time together, and as a friend group, yeah, it could change things, but if they see that they still feel the same way after the kiss, then just let them do them. You can't just block them. It was an emotional moment, so I see that point, but it was mentioned in one of my videos in the comment section that JR in a way is doing the same thing his grandfather did, and he kinda is. Next scene, Marcus is at home and Amara stops by. She tells him that she is seeing someone else, but he is willing to fight for them. She thinks they missed their moment, and Marcus tells her that he's done the work in therapy, he wants something real. Amara says she can't ignore the fact that she's his boss. He told her that there has to be a loophole that allows them to be together and to work together, if that's what she wants, and she said that's what she wants. That's nice for the both of them. They seem like a good fit. Now let's see how long it takes for everyone to find out about them. Over at Damon's dorm room, JR's checking in on him, and he told him that he's good to play baseball. He passed his midterm. He also tells him that he wants to go talk to Simone, that nothing feels more right than her, that he's going to tell her that she's the one for him. Then the scene goes to Simone talking to Nate, and she tells Nate that she doesn't regret what happened between her and Damon, and she's going to tell him. Nate told her to pause it, and JR told him to hold off because he wouldn't want to question the timing on it all, which in a way makes sense. Damon and Simone meet up. She apologized for overreacting about the Yard Yak post. She was just trying to process what happened between them, and she couldn't handle having everyone in her business when she didn't know her feelings about it. After that, basically she said that they are friends and that's all. Damon didn't look too happy, but he agreed, and you can tell they both didn't want that, and that's where the episode ends. Overall, that was a good episode. I can't wait to see what next week's episode continues with, but y'all let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think about this episode and what was your favorite part from it? Here's a trailer breakdown for episode 12. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.